We've had so many clients coming from all different types of industries who are trying to do content, social media content, anything under the sun, and they hate being on camera. So today we're going to talk about how to fix that.
Yeah. And I think it's important to kind of take it back a notch and kind of talk about why do people hate being on camera to begin with. And the first reason I could think of is just that it's a little awkward at first. You're not talking to a person, you're talking to a lens, like a physical object. And some of the feedback we've heard from previous clients and stuff like that too is, oh, I don't like the way I sound. Why does my face look like that on camera? I promise we're not warping your face.
Yeah.
Some of the reasons, it's just, maybe it's one of your first couple times hearing yourself back. Maybe you've never spoken into like a professional mic or even seen yourself on a professional camera before. So that's the first thing I could think of. What about you?
First thing I could think of
like why people hate being on camera.
Why people hate being on camera. I feel like there are so many reasons. It could be that they just, like you said, they've never been in front of a professional camera. They've never been in front of multiple cameras.
Yeah.
They've never had a professional mic, lighting, the whole shebang. They've probably just never experienced it. It could be, honestly, like, if we're getting really deep into it, it could just be self-esteem things. You know what I mean? Like, they don't love the way that they look on camera. There's a plethora of things. Maybe they're shy. You know what I mean? Maybe it could be like a public speaking thing where it's like, maybe they're good at it by themselves, but if there's someone in the room with them, it's almost like they're on stage. They get stage fright. I feel like there's a plethora of reasons of why people may or may not get a little bit shy on camera.
Yeah, I agree. And I guess something to say to like people who might feel like that right now is nobody's paying attention as closely as you are.
So true.
I guess like a reframe would be like, ask yourself, like, if you're watching somebody's podcast, are you just nitpicking the way that their face looks or that they sound the entire time? I bet you're not.
Yeah.
You're probably, if you like the content, you're staying. If you don't like the content, you're leaving. It's really that simple. So I wouldn't overthink it.
That's so true. That is so true. Even honestly, like as a camera dude and someone who's like super into it, I mean, I think maybe like the first couple of seconds I'll notice if there's something like weird or off about like their camera stuff, but that's just because I'm into it. I feel like that like normal people are not gonna care at all about the framing and the lighting and all that stuff. Like 10 out of 10 times, like you're probably just there because you like to hear them talk.
Yeah, 100%. And there's a big difference too between feeling awkward and actually looking awkward.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're probably never gonna think you're not feeling awkward. Like that feeling, I don't know if it ever really goes away.
Yeah.
But I promise you most people watching aren't going to be like, oh, that guy's so awkward on camera right now. What the heck?
Yeah, I mean, unless you really, truly maybe are.
But, yeah, but then maybe this isn't your route.
Yeah, sure. Maybe you shouldn't be in the content game. But odds are low of that being true, And I feel like going into it a little bit deeper of like, for two dudes who are on camera quite frequently, almost every day, I'd probably say to some extent. I think something that's at least helped me personally is like almost like putting on a facade. You know what I mean? Like not like that. I mean, I could kind of say it's fake, but you know what I mean? It's like a more charismatic version of yourself, a more energetic version of yourself. Most people, the way they act on camera is not how they are in person. Like you're trying to get people's attention. You're trying to get people's engagement. Like most people aren't going to want to listen to if you're monotone and like too nonchalant.
Yeah.
So
no, it's a super fair point, especially with like short form content.
Yeah.
You kind of have to be, unless you're doing like one of those yap videos. And you just be yourself and ramble.
Yeah.
But
of course.
I think that's even a strength to somebody who might feel awkward on camera is doing a longer form content piece because you can just be yourself. Yeah. Like you don't have to try to be entertaining and hook people in the first 2 seconds.
That's so true.
Yeah.
That is so true. There really is a duality of content. I hope I use that right. But because you're so right. With like long form, it's like you can honestly just be yourself, like totally be yourself. Short form, like I'm not saying you shouldn't be yourself. I think it's important to be yourself. But short form, you definitely kind of have to like put yourself on a stage and perform a little bit. At least I think that like helps. You don't have to do it, but I do think that if you kind of like lock yourself into it, it's like, all right, I'm an actor.
Yeah.
Act.
Yeah.
You
Act
know?
as if.
Act
Charlie
as if.
Houck says.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Act as if. Just, pretend you're an actor,
Yeah.
and just do what you got to do.
Absolutely. I like it. All right. So diving in to the topic a little bit more, how do people actually improve their camera presence? How do they get better on camera? First reason is a mental reframe. You have to reframe being on camera as a skill. It's not something you just have or you don't. Sure, some people start a little further along than others, but it's a skill. Just like anything else. Like if you're in the gym, if you bench press, the first time you ever bench press, you're not going to be able to do the same amount of weight as if you bench press for 3 years straight.
True. That's so true.
Right? Same exact things being on camera. Your first 10 episodes are not going to be as good as your last 10 episodes or your 100th episode or 500th episode. It's a skill that has to get, time and attention put into it every single time you're going to get better.
That's so true. What's the saying? It's like one day or day one,
Something like that.
Everyone starts at day one, So just do it. I mean, you got to get the reps in. You got to, your first 10 videos are probably going to suck. They probably are. And maybe they won't, but they probably are. And that's okay. Like you're literally not going to learn how to become better at being on camera than being on camera, sucking, rewatching yourself and being like, oh, okay, I see like what I could do better.
It's kind of just like anything else. You have to fail as much as possible, as quick as possible.
So true.
Just like anything.
Yeah. Another big thing is when you go to do your content, come prepared but not scripted. Because when you're reading from a script, and we've seen this ourselves, we've seen our clients do it, and they all end up shifting away from this, is that they start reading the content that they want verbatim. Now, depending on what it is, if it's like an ad read or something like that where you're reading from like a teleprompter, that's totally different. But if you're doing some sort of long form content and you're reading verbatim some sort of script or notes or anything like that, it is so much harder to add charisma and like, I don't even know how, it's so much harder to do. It's so much harder to like naturally flow doing content, especially if it's something that you're passionate about and you do have a lot of knowledge on. Like it's almost easier to kind of just pretend like you're kind of like educating someone rather than like reading something. It's really hard to do.
It's much harder to speak naturally too. Like I feel like the clients in the past who did do that, which is fine to like start if that makes you feel comfortable, do whatever you got to do. But you could almost tell that they're reading. You know what I mean? So what we always tell our clients is to bring a bullet point list of the topics you want to talk to. You can have it as like a physical paper. That's fine.
Yeah.
Bring whatever you need, but don't have like the full script. I'd rather see a bullet point of the 6 major points of the topic you're talking about, and then go on like tangents. Just talk about them. Share your expertise. You have that reference there if you need to go to the next point, or if you get off track, you can glance down. Oh, this is the next thing I need to talk about. It's right there, but it's not super scripted.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Another thing, too, is if you mess up, which you're probably going to, especially if you're reading a script, don't stop. You don't have to apologize. Just take a second, read it again, say it again. We've definitely seen this countless times with our clients. We can take care of it in post. You can take care of it in post. Just keep going.
Yeah, I think it's so funny. I'm thinking of one of our clients in specific. He now, granted, he's very good on camera, but this is something that I've noticed that everyone that we've worked with who is good on camera, I do this, you do this, is when you're trying to say a line, just keep saying it. Literally keep saying it until you get it. You know what I mean? Like I've had times where like it's either me or let's say like this client in specific, I think he said it maybe like 5-10 times before he got it right. Now maybe there's a lot of curse words in between of them trying to get it right and everything.
I think I know what you're talking about.
But it's so easy to cut that stuff out. Like it's actually not funny. Like when you're going to edit, if we're editing or you're editing it yourself, all you have to look at is the wavelengths. Yeah. Like if the whole video is silent and you know that you got it right on the last one, it takes a second to cut that out.
Yeah.
So it's better to just keep saying it over and over. You might sound like a broken record and it's kind of funny to look at back at it, but it works.
Yeah, and it also makes some funny bloopers.
It does. It does make funny bloopers, yeah.
And the last tip we have here, if you're really nervous to get started with content, especially in like a podcast setting, is maybe try gradual exposure, right? So you have this idea, you know you want to do it for your business or just for social content, whatever. But you're nervous to get started. You don't like the way you look on camera or sound or anything like that. Try it first with somebody you trust with you. You can do a 2-person podcast episode. It'll be much more natural and like a real conversation if you have another person there instead of trying to just do it yourself. But then maybe you do 1 or 2 of those, then you move into doing it solo. And then, I mean, once you get those down, I think it's just a matter of time before it starts feeling more and more natural.
Yeah, it's at that point, it's just consistency. Like, bring in your best friend, bring in just anyone that you trust, like a family member or something like that, and just kind of do it with them. It'll probably be their first time too, so then you guys can A, experience it together, and B, it's just more, it's practice. It's honestly, when it comes down to it, like you said earlier, to wrap things up, it's a skill. And the only way that you're going to get better at any skill is to practice.
True that. Right on.
Damn
All right.
right.
So if you're nervous about, starting content, you want to get better, you don't like the way you look, sound on camera, these are just a couple tips that could help you, face that fear and get started.